I think everyone would agree with me that Japan is the unluckiest country in the world when it comes to nuclear problems. In 1945, both Hiroshima and Nagasaki were destroyed by an atomic bomb, and in March 2011, Japan faced 3 disasters in a single day: an earthquake, a towering tsunami, and a nuclear disaster. Basically, Japan sits on 4 tectonic plates, which, according to a geologist, is a big no-no. It basically means you live on the world's most cursed Jenga tower. At 2:46 PM, one of these tectonic plates slipped hard, and the result was a magnitude 9 earthquake, the strongest recorded in Japan's history. 6 minutes of non-stop shaking. Trains stopped, roads cracked open, the island Honshu literally moved 2.4 meters east. But that wasn't the real problem, because deep under the Pacific, the seafloor jumped upward by several meters, and when you push the ocean up, the ocean pushes back. 30 minutes later, around 3:15 PM, the ocean arrived, and it was crazy. The tsunami hit Japan's northeast coast with waves over 40 meters high. That's not a typo, that is a 13-story building made of water. Entire towns were steamrolled, cars floated like bath toys, airports flooded. Japan's tsunami warning system worked, but not perfectly. Some people didn't evacuate in time, either because they underestimated the danger, or because the wave moved faster than expected, and as a result, over 15,000 lives were lost, thousands more injured or missing. But sadly, this still isn't where it ends. Within the Fukushima district, there was an important nuclear plant that, if hit, could be utterly disastrous. But luckily, the reactors shut down automatically when the earthquake hit, so crisis averted. But then the tsunami arrived and flooded the backup generators, so the cooling system failed. This was absolutely disastrous. Without the cooling system, the nuclear reactors started to heat up and cause a core meltdown. The Fukushima nuclear station had 6 units within the station, and Unit 1, 2, 3 all experienced a core meltdown, as well as 1, 2 and 4 suffered explosions in their reactor buildings, and as a result of this, 150,000 people were forced to evacuate. The Japanese public felt that the government and the Tokyo Electric Power System, or TEPCO, provided limited information about the accident in the early weeks. TEPCO officials were instructed not to use the phrase core meltdown in order to conceal the meltdown until they recognised it 2 months later after the accident. People were sleeping in gymnasiums, eating ration packs, and wondering if their towns even existed anymore. And TEPCO, well, they apologised a lot. They also got roasted by the public as well as the government for not having enough backup safety systems, lying to regulators and just being kind of sketchy. Japan declared a nuclear emergency. Countries around the world began scanning imports, air travellers, even ocean currents for radiation. Germany, already sceptical of nuclear power, fast-tracked a nationwide shutdown of its plants, and decided to phase out the rest by 2022. Italy held a national referendum, in which 94% voted against the government's plan to build new nuclear power plants. In France, President Hollande announced the intention of the government to reduce nuclear usage by 1/3. Internationally, it was clear that there was a large amount of distrust surrounding nuclear power. However, some governments still had a large amount of trust within nuclear power. In 2019, the United Kingdom was planning a major nuclear expansion despite some public objection. Russia had similar plans. In 2015, India was also pressing ahead with a large nuclear program, as was South Korea. However, in Japan, rolling blackouts and energy shortages followed. Schools turned off lights and heatings, factories reduced output, and for months, fears of another quake or another meltdown lingered. Even today, Fukushima is being cleared up. Interestingly, in 2023, Japan started to release the radioactive water stored in tanks back into the oceans, and the Japanese PM even decided to eat fish from that wastewater region to illustrate its safety. I mean, it's a bit weird if you ask me. I would think there would be better ways to illustrate sanitation within the water. But here's the wildest part. All of this could have been way worse. If the wind had just blown a bit differently, Tokyo could have been hit with radiation cloud. And imagine evacuating 35 million people. Japan did rebuild, and were given a good lesson. First, disasters are sometimes stacked on one another, and very importantly, don't build a nuclear plant on the shore.
because something could go wrong. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment about where you were in March 2011, and also what videos you would like me to do next. Thanks for watching.